Okay, let's start today's topic. Today's topic is being the Java hotspot VM. So uh, we will discuss the deeper things about the hotspot and the details of this virtual machine because it's uh, the most popular virtual machine whenever we install the Java in your system. This is by default installed if you download it from the Oracle website. There is multiple vendor. They also build the virtual machine like IBM. They have their own virtual machine, so anybody can build it. But the Oracle has, by the way, it's created by the Sun initially. Right now, its owner is being Oracle. So this hotspot VM is used most into the system. Okay, fine. Let's go to the topic. In the initial phase, we will discuss about that the loader and mm, this is the loader is being the first and the initial module of this JVM. Today we will focus onto the class loader and we will go the deep of the class loader and how it's working and how the class is loading uh, and try to explain that the whole you know the details how the JVM is loading the class inside the memory. Let's start with that. Uh, let's see what's exactly happened when you write a Java uh, files and what exactly you do. You can see that suppose you have written a file called test.java where your main method is contained, and that is a human readable file, right? And here you can see in the command line what I have done with the Java C compiler. I compiled the test.java files, and when the compiler is compiled the code and it's produced the bytecodes, and you can see the bytecode is like English words, but it's not on the human readable formats. And that bytecode exactly the dot class files. When you compile that test.java and use this command, you will see that test.class file is generated, and if you open that class files you will see this kind of signature. I mean human non-readable file is generated. Suppose we call that the bytecode in Java. uh, so um, still till this bytecode JVM not start the working. So when the JVM start the working, so in the next line you can say that I have execute that test files. I mean, whenever you write the test, it's automatically this interpreter know that uh, it's dot class files, and it's read that files and loading inside the memory. From bytecode, when it's loading into the memory, the hotspot come into the picture, and he start his work. The loading this bytecode into the memory, it's called the class loading. in JVM, there is a different kinds of class loading mechanism exist. So we will go one by one in details and deeply to understand that what exactly happened when your file is compiled and it's loading and how it's loading inside the memory. So next step, you can see there is a three kind of class loader exist inside the hotspot VM. So it's goes from top to bottom. So here the first come into the picture called the bootstrap class loader. This is the class loader which load the initial classes, and we will discuss in the deeper that what is the initial classes and how it's loading. There is another called extension class loader, and why it is extension class loader and what's the functionality is there. We will discuss it. And next is the system, or you can say the application class loader. So uh, this three kind of class loader exist in your hotspot VM. Okay, so let's go into the depth of the bootstrap class loader. So what's happened? Let's see that this is the visualization what exactly happened when the class is loading through bootstrap class loader. Um, so for the bootstrap class loader, it's called a runtime jar, which is contain the all your .class files inside your file system. If you go into the installed Java directory, you will find that runtime jar or RT jar is present there. And if you um, um, unzip it or uncrypt it, you will find there is all the .class files which exactly were mostly used for writing the program. All are present there. In the right hand side, so you could see that so there is a uh, list of those are the directory name, and we use the lang mostly, math sometimes, security, util, and the all things, all the common dot classes, the collection dot class files, all are present there. So what um, exactly happened into the hotspot? There is a class called class loader, which um, which read your bytecode and put into the memory, and all the dependent uh, um, classes, and those are loading from rt.jar, because you write the system.out.print, but you did not write that what is the system, what is the out, and what is the print. So how they recognize those syntax through rt.jar inside the rt.jar, all classes are present to recognize those methods and the classes which you write inside your Java code. Um, so this is the how the bootstrap class loader loading your all uh, common jar files inside your memories. So here you can see this. I have written the inbuilt native class loader. If you go inside the class loader, you will find that it's exactly use the C++ code, which we call the C or C++ code. So we call the native code, which is used um, for loading the native methods and the all implementations, which is exactly required for helping those you know um, classes. So um, these things also happened inside the bootstrap class loader. Okay. um, so this is the memory where I have not described a lot more here. The all your byte code, as well as those classes dot class, also the byte code, all the bytes codes is loading inside your JVM memory. So this is the first step, uh, which the bootstrap class loader done inside your hotspot virtual machines. And next step is the extension class loader. So what's the extension class loader does, we will see into the next slide. Okay, so go to the next slides. Here you can see this is the extension class loader. It does the same things, but it searches all file which is reside into the extension directory. Those are actually the helper class. By the way, here is the one trick is that it's not it's all the jar file is loading whatever present in extension directory, as well as if it is not .jar files, those files also loaded inside the memory. So suppose you write some files and put your files inside the extension folder, it will load if you didn't give any .jar extensions. But what's exactly happen when loading those .class files is read those files, and they exactly find out the symbols inside the files to recognize its Java bytecode. So there is some Java specification. They follow those specification and check and validate those files by the reading those files, not only by the extensions. Okay. Here are some extended files, which is some like location basis information, internalizations informations, and those kind of helper classes has been implemented, and those are the loaded into the virtual memory. Um, in JVM. So the this is called the extension class loader. It's come after loading your all bootstrap classes inside the memory. And next step is called the application class loader. So application class loader exactly do the same things what it done by the bootstrap and extension class loader, but the files which is loaded, it's the exact the code whatever you have written. It's initially search inside your directory, and if you declare any class path variable, then it will go to the search that class paths, and if it is not found, then it will show the class not found error. So most of the cases we see this kind of class not found error. So the search JVM searching procedure goes in this way. First is goes to the bootstrap. It's loading the all classes, and then go to the extension, loading all classes, and then go to the your file system or class first to load the all um, uh, byte code inside the JVM. And suppose you declare some methods which is not suppose implemented whatever loaded inside the JVM, then it will show the class not found error. So basically, when loading your class, there is two kind of uh, uh, class loaders error showing. One is no such methods error, and another is the class not found error. So I have already described that when the class not found error is occurred, but um, what is the case of no such methods error? So it's typically not happened, but suppose you written a method in a files which is present in your class path or the file system, but you you uh, uh, you write the same kind of class but not define the methods, and you put that class dot class inside your extension directory. It will load that file because extension class dot class files is a high priority than your application directory or class path directory. So it will override your class paths or application directory file if it's the name is the same. It will give the much more priority to the extension class loader, and it load that class, and if there is that method is not present there, but you have written the method inside the files which is present in the class paths or your application directory, then this kind of error you could face. Generally, we don't, do this kind of things. But if somebody done this kind of things, it will throw this kind of error. More or less, it's uh, the main module of your hotspot VM, and this is the initial. You could not say that this is the main module. We can say it's a initial module to load the classes, and initial task which is hotspot is done. Okay, thanks for the watching, and we will update you all the more deeper things of this JVM and the hotspot VM, and we will describe each and every module of this JVM. And stay tuned with me, and hopefully you will enjoy the all tutorials. Okay, thanks a lot to watching this video. Okay, let's start today's topic. Today's topic is being in the Java hotspot VM. So uh, we will discuss the deeper things about the hotspot, and the details of this virtual machine, because it's uh, the most popular virtual machine whenever we install the Java in your system. This is by default installed if you download it from the Oracle website. There is multiple vendor. They also build the virtual machine, like IBM. They have their own virtual machine, so anybody can build it. But the Oracle has, by the way, it's created by the Sun initially. Right now, its owner is being Oracle. This hotspot VM is used most into the system. Okay, fine. Let's go to the topic. In the initial phase, we will discuss about that the loader, and this is the loader is being the first and the initial module of this JVM. Today we will focus onto the class load.